spots in each group get that winner's bracket movement. So fingers crossed, we'll see some good games today, and I think our first series gonna be just fine, Grant. Gonna be just fine.
And speaking of it, we're already loaded in Creighton, and our first player in the top left, the blue Protoss player from Russia. He is surely gonna live up to his name. It is Strange.
You on my camera for the first game?
Yeah, mine, mate.
You're doing all the work, Grant. Producing, observing, casting. I don't even know why they invite me anymore.
The big buck.
That's all right. That's right. The big buck. A singular buck. In the right-hand side, a child who needs no introduction. A toddler, better than any other StarCraft player, and an infant who hit Grandmaster at age 2.5 weeks. It is, from Italy, and Clash Gaming, Reynor.
Damn, that was a good camera spin. Okay.
It was impressive.
So, everything's starting off very normal here on Lightshade. It is the first map of the day, Creighton, so we kind of expect things to be some level of standard, I would imagine. Strange so far has gone for that gateway on the low ground. He's going to be moving into a Nexus Cybercore. Most likely, as he has scouted, it was a hatch first, and that is exactly what we see. Reynor is going to play this safe. He's going to play this steady. He's probably going to look to get into the mid game and win with Ling counterattacks or something along those lines. Maybe play some Hydra into Lurkers, something along those lines. It's hard to tell, of course, this early. Strange is, the onus is on Strange, right? We cannot sit here and go, oh, Strange can just sit back and do nothing and go to 3 bases and he'll be fine.
Yeah, you know, Grant, you say it's pretty standard that we're seeing like normal play so far. I'll be honest, I'm a little surprised at the amount of respect that Reynor is showing Strange right now. I think Strange is one of the players probably expected to go out in 7th or 8th place in his bracket, and very often Reynor is a player who is not afraid when he's playing a player that he's confident that he's better about, or that he's better than. Reynor is not afraid to just 12 pool and try and win the games immediately. You see this a lot in the ESL Open Cups when he's playing some, you know, no-name player who's just there to have a good time. Reynor will dunk on them just to end his games quite quickly so he can, like, go ladder or whatever. So I'm a little surprised to see Reynor going hatch gas pool, but, you know, it makes sense. It's game 1. He's just come out of a ladder game, and he's doing his best. We see a Stargate coming out from Strange, and I like the Stargate play, Grant. I think it's so strong against Zerg players, especially a Zerg player like Reynor, where you need as much map control as possible.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. It's also, you're not shoehorned even into one build if you go Stargate.
Did you say shoeboxed in?
Shut up, Creighton. You're not put in a shoebox.
That's not a thing.
One build. That's not a thing. It is now. Brexit means Brexit. Yeah, you're not forced into one thing. You can go Void Ray, you can go Phoenix still, and that is what it is going to be. Already a little unusual.
Spicy.
So if we're seeing a Phoenix opening, we may see that second Stargate come down before too long. Typically with Phoenixes, you are going to go for a second Stargate, or you're just going to make like 4 or 5 and then do something alongside that. We could see Phoenix into Oracle as well. Maybe this second Phoenix here. The other side, we have Pneumatized Carapace coming in here for Reynor. He's going to be looking to get some information soon. There's Phoenix coming out though, already a tell, already shown what is coming on. And that will be one dead Overlord here for Reynor. He still has some up in the very north side, and I wonder if Strange has done his homework enough to go and look for that, because typically any player, and he is heading there, who plays Pneumatized Carapace will always have this Overlord, and Reynor, he does play Pneumatized Carapace a lot. Will he catch it though?
Oh, the MLG skin barely misses it there. That's a bit of a bummer, because it's clear that Strange has done his homework, Grant. That's something we see with a lot of these players. The more experienced players coming into this, like Reynor, are probably not going to prep as much for the individual player. Pardon me. We saw Reynor. Reynor showed up for his match about 15 minutes early before we started, and we said, oh, it'll be about 15 minutes, and he said, okay, I'll go ladder then.
Yeah.
Whereas I assume if Strange had an extra 15 minutes, he would probably be watching a Reynor replay or something to get a beat on exactly the play style, because if you can prepare for your player specifically, you got a better chance. It's a little more work intensive, but it's going to pay off if you're the unfavored player here. So I'm not surprised to see Strange hunting that Overlord down. He does finally get it, but Reynor gets the full scout.
The scary thing for me is you can sit and watch Reynor replays all day. Can you play as quick as him? That's what it's going to come down to. Like currently his APM sitting, you know, 500, 600, it just popped. He's just so fast and so capable at multitasking. Very similar to Clem here. Now, a couple of drones did go down, which is nice. The Phoenix is doing a good job. None of them have died. They've so far found a little bit of damage in this game. If we take a look, 300 minerals worth, not too shabby. And we can see behind this, it is just going to be a ground-based composition here for our Protoss player. He's going to get another probe, drone even, and then be forced to fall back. But there's no third down for Strange yet, and that's a little scary. Going Phoenixes does mean you give up control at home just a little bit. You can see he's had to make a lot of sentries here in order to set up for his next push. We're going to see a sentry a month push off the back of this, Creighton.
Yeah, that's so sexy, man. That's so sexy. You were saying earlier, players don't get shoeboxed into one particular build when they go for Stargates. And that's what we're seeing out of Strange here. He's going to do as much damage to these 5 Phoenix as possible. Got the Oracle, or the Immortal starting up, and he's going to make that 2-base push. And the cool thing about this 2-base push is, Grant, if you do a ton of damage, you just win the game. And if you do a moderate amount of damage, then you expand to a 3rd base and get your Robo Bay down and go for Colossi or Disruptors or something. There's a great way to transition out of this for a Protoss player. And if Strange can get good damage done, he's got a chance. The bad news is Reynor's already starting +1 missile attack. He's got the Roach Horn on the way, and he's seen this coming. He's already got a Spine Crawler down and adding on tons of those gases. So we all know what's coming next.
Yeah, Strange is going to take his 3rd base. Of course, this is, as a Protoss player, you want this about a minute and a half ago to be thrown. But tech-wise, Strange is in a great spot. That's you know, we can't let that go understated. He's already getting his robotics bay. Immortals are on the way. His +1 is very close to completion. We see a lot of units being forced out by Reynor right now, when ideally he'd be wanting to go up to a lot of Phoenixes. He'd be wanting, a lot of drones to deal with that the Phoenixes have already killed. This Overlord, this Overseer even, in the natural will go down to the Phoenixes as well. They've done a very good job so far. Nothing has died so far for Strange, and he has now killed 825 minerals, 875, I can't do math, and 50 gas. So that's a very good start. And now we have this first Protoss push. And if this works out, I mean, maybe he can put Reynor on the back foot here. A lot of roaches though, Creighton.
Yeah, a lot of roaches. A lot of roaches, Creighton, indeed, Grant. 7 of them down, and we got a bunch of Ravagers on the way. That +1 is going to be finished up before Strange is able to hit, now that he's retreated. And unfortunately for Strange, he's not going to be able to find a nice little juicy timing on his side. Reynor's probably not going to get much done with this Ling run by, but I love what you said earlier about putting Reynor on the back foot. Because, Grant, let me tell you, if there's a player who almost never plays from the back foot, it's Reynor. The hyper-aggression, the constant run-bys. Reynor and Serral both share a similar style in that they like to be in complete control of their game. It's weird to say that Zerg players don't play as reactive, but let me tell you, Reynor doesn't play as reactive as most Zerg players.
He's the only one who controls the pace of a conversation, as some commentator I've heard of would say every now and then.
Absolutely.
And Strange has done a good job of a couple of things. One, Reynor's only just hit 80 drones. It's really not too excessive. 2, Reynor's creep spread, I think we can say happily, it's okay, but it's not great. He's only got 2 avenues, and they're very, very far back. He doesn't have great creep in his main or anything like that to keep vision. He's done a good job. And now Strange's army is starting to kind of power up. He's getting Colossus. ETL is already 2/3 of the way done. His upgrades are now double rolling, as are Reynor's, who's going into melee upgrades. But Reynor's kind of now put himself in a position where if the game can continue to go on, he's getting that infestation, but he's going to get very, very strong, very, very fast. Creighton, 1 probe has died this game for our Protoss player, nothing else.
Yeah, that's really, really scary here. Especially, I mean, Reynor's income is really great, right? He's on that 5th base already. And as you said earlier, Strange's base, about 90 seconds behind where he really wanted to be as a Protoss player. But overall, his army doesn't look too shabs at all, Grant. His army supply is low. The army value looks low. But the gas count is really what matters. And his gas is about 30% higher than Reynor's army. So it means his army is slightly more technically complex with those Colossi and the Phoenix. Phoenix can lift up the Queens, and with a good engagement, Strange still has a chance here, but I love the run by at the 4th base here. Reynor still causing havoc every chance he gets.
Yeah, looks like the cancel will happen here. We're going to see some lifts on some Lings. It's going to be very, very close. Oh my god, it takes balls of steel. It was down to literally like 12 hit points. So Strange gets the hold on. He does kill a lot of Lings. Once again, if we take a look at the battle report there, 13 Lings for nothing. I mean, sure, that Nexus is chewed up. When it does finish, it will only be at about 50% health, but its shields will be full. It is, it certainly could be run. Oh my god, look how many Banelings there are, Creighton.
Yeah, you were saying, Grant, oh my god. 46 Banelings on the field. Now, those sentries have been here for the entire game, Grant. They're all at full energy. So the force fields here could be really clutch. It looks like a couple sloppy force fields, but actually he's able to get the Colossus shots onto the Banelings on the front side. That's a great initial trade for Strange. Reynor down to about even army supply right now. The army value barely in his favor. He's going to have to find another angle of attack, but Grant, he's not split his army up hardly at all here. He's basically coming in from one angle, and there are force fields out the yang for Strange.
Yeah, the force fields have been really, really good here. Reynor has such a wide angle of attack because his army is so large. Even Baneling's coming in from the rear here, getting on top of the Colossus. If the Colossus go down, this is all she wrote. But they don't. And all the creeps are here created. But the power units of Strange have survived. And right now, Strange is not only held, he has won the fight, he has won the day. But it does look like Reynor on the backside of it. Never give up, never surrender. He's going to take down that 4th Nexus.
Yeah, 4th Nexus is really nice. Of course, that's the one that he weakened to almost nothing a few minutes ago, so it gets the finishing blow on that, which is great. But pull up the battle report from that battle, Grant. It still looks better for Reynor than it does for Strange, but I'll argue that Reynor threw away a ton of gas there.
Yeah.
600 gas worth of Banelings, and he's got to rebuild those. He's got 26 more on the field, but it's slowing him down. Look, Banelings and Lings take up a lot of larva, as you know, Grant, and if Strange is able to get any damage done here, it's going to be more difficult for Reynor to recover. That said, I still think Reynor's in a good spot to defend here, with the flank and the backside as well.
Well, nah, that's just a lot left. The Immortals in the back are standing strong, but there's no more buffer. The Zealots have been melting under Baneling fire. The Colossus in the back are doing a lot of damage here, but I'm not sure there's enough power units left. I'm just not sure Strange has enough. Very close, quick, and he does. He bloody does. Ling reinforcements are coming in, but there's no Banelings on the field. There's really very little, and if all of these drones go down, that's a big bloody problem here for Reynor. This base will fall. Strange has come out. He's come to play. Oh, that's many dead drones. Welcome to the barbecue, my lads. I mean, it's terrifying. Strange is up in supply.
Yeah, Grant, let me tell you something here. We just said that if Strange does good damage on this attack, Reynor's going to have trouble remaxing, and look at Reynor's unit counting station here. He has 3 larva on the map right now, Grant, and 3 larva does not a Zerg army make. He's desperately morphing in Banelings, but the Warp Prism's here now as well to reinforce with the gateway units to pick up and drop those Colossi, and even the Banelings aren't going to do it, and holy hell, Grant, Strange grabs game number 1.
What the...
What a fabulous game. And Grant, I know I did this gag yesterday, but I'm going to do it again. Are you ready? Are you ready?
No.
Can we talk about Immortals, Grant? I've been dying to talk to you about Immortals, Grant. We've had Immortals all day, and all I can see are Immortals, and Immortals everywhere on the field. All I want to talk about is Immortals. Look at the board, Grant. Immortals.
Yeah, they stood so strong, and the Baneling flanks never managed to get massive, massive connections on the Colossus as well. I'd love to see how many kills those Colossus had at the end of the game. Because I reckon they must have been in the 20s each, if not more.
Absolutely more.
Just ridiculous damage. And this all started, and I talked about this a couple of times in the game. Strange didn't lose a unit until like 7 minutes into the game. He lost like a probe. Whereas Reynor was still forced to make a lot of units to respect Strange's build. He didn't get up to 90 drones early and just power through. His tech stayed on Roach Ravager Baneling. He never got Hydras or Lurkers. And Strange was able to keep his important units alive, deal with the Banelings, some good force fields, some bad force fields, but overall, I'd say they were very beneficial. And now Strange is up 1-0 in the series.
First player to take a map off of Reynor by day 3 now of their matches here in Group C. Reynor is not feeling good about that at all, Grant. Not feeling good about that at all. We're going into map number 2 on Blackburn, and since it's a ZVP, it's not going to be like favored for either player, I don't think. This ought to be a really, really exciting map. If Strange can, I think if Strange can do the game he wants to do, like last game, and defend as well as he did, he's got a shot here. And this is a long shot. But if he takes down Reynor, what an entrance. This is Strange's first DreamHack, and this would be a hell of a way to start things off.
Now, what I'm curious of is this Strange's map pick? Did Reynor pick the first map? We weren't privy to the vetoes that happened before we went live. So there's a possibility this is. And what if he has something planned? What if he drops a forge? What if he does something strange and is able to pick up a quick 2-0? It is a possibility. That was an impressive game 1. He looked top tier. That's Reynor's first loss in this tournament.
Yeah, now, I will say, Grant, we saw a few minor mistakes from Strange here and there. I don't know if you saw on the Baneling flank that came through, he had an Archon that was mispathed, and actually the Archon actually destroyed its own force fields, which caused the Banelings to hit his army. He had a few positional questions that I worry about, but overall, generally very clean play. So not that he's immortal and that was some unbelievably good play. I think Reynor just went a little 2 balls to the wall on his first attack. But, normally, Grant, I say my favorite StarCraft games are one where one player doesn't just like throw away the game and make a stupid loss. I don't think that was a dumb loss from Reynor. I think maybe a little overconfident, but Strange definitely earned that dub for sure.
Yeah, and now we are here on Blackburn for map 2, and our player in the bottom right, he needs to bring it back. A very uncharacteristic loss to start things off. Yes, Clash's Italian Zerg player in the red. It's Reynor.
Damn, you know you've caused an upset when all the salty trolls in the chat accuse Reynor of match fixing. You got if Strange could read the chat, he would feel so good about that. He'd be like, "Yeah, motherfuckers, I'm so good. You think Reynor can only lose if he wants to? That's how good I am."
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
And in the bottom left-hand side, this player who's making Reynor look bad in game 1, he is our Russian Protoss player. Give it up, ladies and gentlemen, for Strange.
Damn, I should be an observer. Fuck casting. Okay, so it is Gateway first. Nothing too strange so far. Oh, fuck, it's so hard not to say that.
You can't do it.
You can't do it. It's like casting time and not saying time. It's impossible.
Exactly.
So, yeah, Gateway down on the low ground. He's going to scout. He's going to see that it is in the hatch pool. So he will go Nexus before Cybernetic score. Nothing is wonky from our Protoss play. He's going to keep the probe in the base in order to be disruptive. Excuse me, hiccups. And not throw down any strange pylons just here on Blackburn.
Nice.
I do believe... Oh, fuck, I did it again.
Is that intentional?
No. I do believe Stargate is what a lot of players play because you can get information extraordinarily easily by using this large dead space between. The Strange is okay, he's just making sure the Furs are not going down before Queens. And yeah, everything is completely bog standard here from both of our players so far. As for Reynor, what's he doing with gas? He's keeping 3 in for now, wondering if he's going to pull out as he gets close to 100. I very much imagine he'll go down to just 1, maybe 0. 88, 92, there we go. And is he going to stick to 1? Sticking to 1, yeah, that's expected here. So no very early roach builds or anything coming here from Reynor. Instead getting Queens in his 3rd base in about 10 seconds.
Yeah, beautiful stuff. And since these players are opening a pretty standard grade, I think that gives us a good chance to sort of talk about Group C and where we stand right now is, as we predicted, that Stargate coming down from Strange. So if you guys want to, of course, you can type !bracket in the chat to check out the Liquipedia page for this event. Those Liquipedia editors working overtime to get these results in the second that they happen. Those guys are superhumans. It's unbelievable. Huge shout out to Liquipedia for carrying the entire StarCraft scene on their back. I don't know what we'd do without them. But you can check out the Liquipedia because it's live updated every single game. Right now in Group C, Reynor and Euthermal are tied for 1st place with 2 match wins. I'm going to ignore map score right now because everything's sort of in flux today. And then we've got a 4-way tie currently for 2nd place with 4 players at 1-1. Strange, DNS, Goblin, and Denver. And what an interesting bunch of 4 players, Grant. I think any of those 4 players have a chance at moving out. And then, of course, Cass and Marine Lord in the bottom 2. I think that's expected for Cass. Marine Lord, maybe with a strong chance of moving up.
I mean, to add to this, if Strange wins this, that's going to put him in prime position to move up, probably even in 3rd place, because you expect him to win some and lose some against those other players, and you expect all the other players to do. And if he is able to take up the series and take the win that he's not supposed to get. Let's put this brightly. Strange is an incredible player. He's been in a couple of these WCS Premier events, but he's never had a deep run. He's never, you know, shocked the world. If you beat Reynor, you are on the map. You have done what you need to do. And it's a huge upset, and it would be a great storyline and a great moment of pride for the young Russian player. I mean, it's a long way to go to beat Reynor. For now, we're seeing the same build, Creighton.
Dude, you know, I just checked. I just did some caster math. You know, if Strange wins this 0-2 or 2-1, he's going to be ahead of Reynor in the standings overall, no matter what.
Wild.
Yeah, absolutely wild. I mean, that'd be crazy, but we'll see. It's obviously a big ask to beat Reynor twice in a row. So at the very worst, I think we'll see a game 3, which is still great. Forge, Robo down again for Strange. As you said, Grant, very similar build to last game. And those Phoenix out, clearing the map, which is really nice. These Phoenix give you so much map control, man. And Reynor has not seen anything yet and won't see anything for a long ass time.
Yeah, I mean, so far, 3 Overlords have gone down and continuing to shark about here with his Phoenixes, trying to get any denials that they can here in the vision range. It's a very good start for Strange. Once again, Reynor now supply blocked, forced to make a few laser Overlords to get out of that. Creep spread is starting to get a little bit better already. We are seeing no real deviation from the build so far. I'm interested to see if that robotics bay comes down shortly. Phoenix is going to head up into the main here, maybe get a drone or 2, but as long as he doesn't lose them, Strange is doing what he did in game 1, maybe even better than he did it in game 1 because he's denied scouting.
It's looking good. The Robo Bay, I think, is the real question right now, Grant, for sure, for sure. If the Robo Bay comes down earlier, I think he's going to go for a bit of a later push. His third base coming down slightly earlier than last game as well. Looks like because remember last game he got that at about the 610, 620 mark.
Yeah.
So he's still a couple seconds ahead this game, which is a little better. Finally, Reynor has some information. He knows there's a third base down. With the third base down for Strange, I expect a Robo Bay before the big push at about the 8-9 minute mark. But I think the ball is in Reynor's court at this point if he wants to aggress or not.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. Reynor's rope foreign, though, isn't even down. He doesn't have a Baneling Nest yet, so really, he can't be the aggressor anytime soon. Good news for Reynor is his drone count is pretty healthy. If he can get up into the 70s in the next couple of moments, and he will, he'll be happy with that. Strange hasn't done a great... Oh my god, Strange, you're adorable! This is a proxy prism just to make Reynor think. And what's Reynor doing? He's not making drones because of it. He's only making units because he sees this push with this hallucinated prism and thinks, oh god, he's coming at me. He's got 8, 9, 10 gates. When in reality, he has 4. He's just droning up, getting his robotics bay behind this. Reynor going to look for a sneaky counter attack. The cannon is here once again. And with warping reinforcements, or maybe even just the Immortal coming over, this shouldn't be a problem. Look, he's just going to catch him. This is looking very, very similar to game 1, but I've got to say, Creighton, I think Strange is in maybe a slightly stronger position.
This is hilarious. I feel like since ESL is now partially run by Apollo, I can legally say mind games, Grant, and not get sued by him for copyright infringement or whatever. But that hallucinated warp prism was a brilliant move. Reynor going to be slowed down considerably, wondering for the rest of the game, wait, where's that warp prism? Why hasn't he attacked with it? Yeah. Got to keep some queens at all my bases, slowing him down a bit. This is really great play from Strange. Colossi on the way, ETL on the way, as we predicted. And again, Strange just building up to that Death Ball army. But Grant, if there's anybody that can take a Death Ball army out, yeah, I can guarantee it's Reynor. Interestingly, Reynor's not been able to get on the map and clear out any of those rocks in the middle of Blackburn. Those are two really clutch destructible debris right in the center there. You can see both of them on the screen for a moment. They allow the Zerg players to flank really effectively. And Grant, yesterday, we saw the Zerg player fail to, I can't remember who it was, fail to take down either of these destructible rocks. And when the fight happened outside the 4th base, they were unable to flank completely, and the Protoss player defended fairly easily.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. And again, going back to it, the creep spread, it's okay, but it's not great. It's not what we would call Scarlet-esque, where it's, you know, taking over the whole game. It's better than it was in game 1, I will admit that. But the Phoenixes have been doing a good job of keeping queens quite far back. And of course, that fake pressure with the hallucinated prism has been incredible for buying Strange enough time to get his power units. Look how much damage he's finding over here on the gold base. He does lose 1, 2 Phoenixes, not ideal. But one thing I wanted to bring up is Strange's defensive counterattacks of Ling run-bys. Look at the wall he's set up. He's been getting a cannon very early as well. And Reynor is known, his bread and butter, you know, the thing he falls back on whenever things are rough is he can kill someone with a Ling counterattack. And Reynor's just not allowing, Strange is just not allowing Reynor to get any of that so far. And it's a very, very good start. Baneling Nest, though, hasn't come down this game. Instead, we're going into much quicker lurkers, and this gold base, unfortunately, forced to cancel.
Yeah, nice little play from Reynor there. Strange maybe getting a little too big for his britches there, trying to get a 4th base, but he saw those Lings, and he knew they were waiting there. So a little surprised when he didn't leave more there. 4 Zealots should be able to drive him away this time, and I think he'll be okay to grab that 4th base. The good news for Reynor is behind this, he's got a 5th base, and the income graph actually in Reynor's favor over the last 3 minutes or so. Strange has a time window that's narrowing a little bit, where if Reynor's able to make and sustain 5, 6 bases here, his creep spread's going to be enough where he'll see the Protoss army coming, and I don't think Strange will be able to do quite as much. Yeah, sees the lurkers with those hallucinated Phoenix, which is great as well. I like the lurker play from Reynor a lot better. That's going to be way more sustainable than Ling Bane that he had last game. But now, Strange knows the clock is ticking, and he's moving across, Grant.
Yeah, Reynor, though, setting up one of those counterattacks. These 4 Zealots did a great job against Lings, not so much against Roaches. May even force a recall here, or even just the Phoenixes. Now, Strange did get a cancel over at this base towards the center, which is nice. And he does have enough here, I believe, with the battery to push back these Roaches. Strange continuing to do a phenomenal job of not taking damage. But I am concerned about how he's going to handle lurkers. The lurkers are already getting upgrades with Vipers in the mix. Reynor is known for his late game control, his speed, his multitasking. Can Strange keep up? when there's 200 armies on the field? I don't know. We haven't seen it yet, and I cannot wait to figure it out, Creighton. I was maybe expecting Strange to throw down a couple more Stargates and start to transition towards a mass air army, as is what most players do against lurkers, but that's not going to be the case. He is going to stick with ground, getting a lot of Immortals out. We're currently looking at 5, soon to be 7, and they do take hits from the lurkers very well alongside Archons. Phoenixes can lift them as long as the detection isn't taken out. So I'm still not hating Strange's position. Just needs to max out now. Hold on to this gold base, which is so key because Reynor is looking to punish.
Yeah, this is going to be a really interesting army composition. As you said, traditionally, when you see these lurkers coming out, if you've got the time and the space in the map, which Strange absolutely had a few moments ago, Stargate seems to be the current popular counter to it. Get some carriers, get some Tempests out, and pick off the lurkers one by one as best you can. Strange instead going for mass immortal. Look at his upgrades, Grant. He's working on 3/3 right now. Pardon me, +3 and
+1 shields,
+3 armor and +1 shields for his Archons and Immortals. This is a really bold build from Strange here to go Immortals against lurkers, and he's going to need a lot of Immortals and great vision here in this attack.
Yeah, we see the blinding clouds coming down, and those lurkers are just raining down, or up, I suppose, seismic spines onto all of the army. There's still a lot of Immortals, and Immortals can take a hit or two, move forward, and now we see the move forward come in. But look at the army melt. It's dissipating. There's so little left. There was 7 Immortals 1 second ago. Now there's 1, and just like that, Reynor flips the switch, and GG. Reynor takes us to map 3.
Yeah, I was trying to be polite during the game, I think, but Grant, Immortals versus Lurkers is just such a strange choice, if you'll pardon the pun, because we saw on that fight on the high ground, the Lurkers took the high ground, Strange attacked up a ramp, and what went down immediately? Blinding Cloud. Yeah. Now his Immortals were almost in range of the Lurkers to begin with. Blinding Cloud pushes them back, and they're taking Lurker damage the entire time.
Yep.
It just melted there, so that I think was a bit of I don't want to say a throw from Strange, just I think a bad choice, seeing Lurkers and going for Mass Immortal. Hopefully in Game 3 he chooses the more appropriate counter, and we can see maybe a bit more of a fair fight at the end there. That last fight was a bit like if I was going to go up against Conor McGregor, where I'd be like, I'm going Mass Immortals, it's going to be fun, and Conor McGregor would just go.
He sweeps the leg, man. He swept the leg. He went under with the Lurkers.
That's a much better reference than mine.
I know, I got you back, bud. Okay, so we move on to 2000 atmospheres here for map 3, a relatively standard map once again. And now I think Strange has to mix it up, because game 1 he did something, Reynor wasn't prepared, Reynor died. Game 2 he did the same thing, Reynor knew what was coming, he was prepared, Reynor didn't die. He did the opposite, he was alivered. And he killed Strange pretty good. So Reynor now knows he can go quicker lurkers and defeat that build. It's done. That build is done. Unless Strange finds big damage before, then he cannot do it. So, I mean, maybe he does something else. Maybe we see some double Stargate or a Glaive Adept build or something along those lines. I don't know. Of course, I'm not in Strange's shoes. I hope he has a plan. But we did say even going into this, Reynor is the favorite. If Strange can take one map, he should be incredibly happy. And he's done that so far. So now it's just about playing his game and seeing what happens.
Playing his game, the name of the game there, Grant. Trying to get on the front foot. And as we said in game number 1, control the pace of the game, control the tempo, and really do what you want to do. I'm just rewatching that last fight. And man, that was painful to watch. Those lurkers just mowing through the Immortals. It's disgusting, Grant. Shame. But we're loading into 2K Atmos now. Tied up at 2-1. And Grant, we said it at the very beginning in our pre-show, but this is not a series that Reynor expected to lose a game during. It's just not. And this is one of those series where we are going to look back on day 6, on day 7 of DreamHack, and whoever's casting that day is going to say, Reynor is tied with you Thermal for that 2nd and 3rd place spot or whatever. There's always a chance that every single map matters immensely. So losing a map to Strange here is not what Reynor wanted.
No, like you're completely right there. If you go into the bracket stage at 3rd and 4th place because of a 1 map loss here, you have to play an extra round, and in that round you're gonna play someone bloody good, someone else who's got through their group. You know, you could be coming up against someone else like a Grogo or a Euthermal, someone who on their day, on the best day, can beat Reynor. We've seen it historically. For now though, none of this matters, because we have 1 more map to decide the fate of this series. And our first player in the bottom left, he took the first map with a pretty resounding victory, unable to close it out in the second. He is the Russian Protoss player. It is Strange.
Hang on. Shitposting in chat, Grant. Wait for it. All right. And his opponent in the top right-hand side in the red. Representing Team Clash and Italy, he is Reynor. I was going to come up with a fake nickname for Reynor, but my Italian is so bad that I don't know literally anything. I was like the young, the kid. I don't know anything in Italian, Grant. I know like pasta dish names in Italian, and that's about where my Italian stops.
It's super cliche, but we always called him in my old group as part of your family. We always called him Mr. Spaghetti or Spaghetti Boy, which is just super offensive.
Grant, I think about it. Yeah, that's straight up just racist.
It's insensitive, certainly, because like
imagine if I called you just Mr. Fish and Chips.
I love fish and chips, Crayon. Have you not seen the size of my belly? Please do. Like, I'm all for it. Okay, so what's happening? Nothing. Okay, everything's normal. Cool. Now,
yeah, everything's normal.
Has anyone seen the football score?
Wait, what? You can't, Grant. This is Twitch chat is not your personal, personal Sky Sports.
I could do with someone letting me know the football score of the United Wolves game in chat, please.
You are here on a contract with DreamHack ESL for StarCraft 2 entertainment, and
I want to know the football score.
You're asking about the Champions League football score?
It's not Champions League. It's the last day of the Premier League. Come on,
Premier League. I don't know the difference. Champions League is Europe, right?
Congratulations.
And Premier is just England and Scotland and Wales and whatever else the fuck there is.
Just England.
Just England. So you told the Scots to
just
sod
England
off.
now, but technically Wales can be involved. Cardiff just aren't in the Premier League.
Because they're terrible.
They're not great. Okay,
That's
anyway.
Stargate coming in once again. I had to go to Cardiff to get my my visa when I lived in the UK, and it was a miserable crap hole, Grant.
Yeah, it's about 30 minutes from my house, so, you know, just by proxy, they're too close to me. Miserable. Phoenixes. Strange, he's going to do the same thing. Please, no. I'd love to see something different. There is, of course, the possibility that he is hiccuping, doing the same opening and going to mix it up. As we said, I do feel he needs to mix it up. I wouldn't mind seeing Phoenixes into a larger array of targets. The second target going down as this Overlord dies would be beautiful. I don't know if we're going to see it, but it would be cool.
That would be something, right? Because this game is different than the previous two in that while Strange is doing the same opener, it's been scouted this time. Game 1, the scout came much later. Game 2, Reynor didn't scout at all and still won. But by seeing this early, Reynor should be able to control exactly what his build is and basically prep, I would assume, the counter to exactly the same build he saw from Strange in games 1 and 2. If Strange puts down a second Stargate, that would be great. But Grant, the pressure's on right now, and I don't think Strange is going to be confident enough to swap things up.
No, he's just spent all of his gas as well, so I can't foresee it as just going to be a forge, and we're going to go into a standard game as for what Strange has been showing us, and that's a little sad. I would like to have seen him do something a little different. Maybe he'll go for a slightly quicker third. He has to do something different. He cannot allow the game to continue. Okay, this is already a little different. Oh, he cancelled one.
Oh man, I was really excited for some double forge play there. I was like, dang, Strange. Live up to your name, buddy.
Yeah, go for really early upgrades. It could have been cool. It could have been cool. Of course, Reynor is not really been the one to attack in this series, actually. We've seen him do a couple of counterattacks with Lings and Roaches, and in the first game, he did go for a big Baneling push that didn't work out, but Strange has certainly been controlling it. Losing a Phoenix this early is rough. That's not what you want to do. He does get 5 drones. It's not bad by any means, but the Phoenixes give so much control. They are very important, and Reynor can just hold down that D key anyway. Thank you, Form969 and GS Note for giving me the score. I appreciate you. That's good stuff. Okay, so Robo coming down here. Roach Roaring about to finish. Lair going to be finishing here. We do have gases being added. Going up to 4 gases now for Reynor, who is just going to be doing the same thing again, Creighton.
It's a little disappointing, Grant. All these sentries out, and Reynor's going to spot those sentries with those Lings, I believe, and he'll know now. He's seen 4 sentries out this early, and man, you know, I feel like Reynor's going to be chuckling to himself. Because if Strange really had busted out some weird build, changed things up a little bit, it would be fabulous to see him like adapting and adjusting and forcing Reynor to make adjustments to his play. As it is, Reynor is just going to do exactly the same thing. We see +1 missile attacks coming already. The Infestation Pit goes down right away. And this game, I feel like Reynor knows, Grant, exactly what's coming his way. And if you don't have the element of surprise, players like Reynor, Cyril Clem, hero marine, just hard to beat.
Yeah, I agree with you. Showtime. Yeah, any of them. Oh, Phoenix is getting caught here. Oh, Strange not paying attention. Going to lose bleed 2, maybe even 3 here. Oh, that's such a big mistake. He's dealing with the Lings in the front, and he loses those Phoenixes. One of them manages to get out, but that's a lot of vision, a lot of control denied now, which means it's going to be harder to see these attacks as they come. There are so many sentries on the field. It's Grayton.
It's just like game 1, man. What does he have, 10 now? Yeah, this is insane. Full energy, but there's just no DPS in this army at all. As the swarm hosts come out from Reynor, he is going to change up his response a little bit, and this is going to be a very spicy defense from Reynor, but I think he's going to get, I mean, sentries just tear, pardon me, sentries. Swarm hosts just tear down sentries so freaking fast, Fran, especially if there are no zealots to back them up here. Stalkers are fine, but they're just not quite as scary as zealots are against those swarm hosts.
Yeah, the problem is that you cannot force field swarm hosts because they come from the air, they come from above. We are going to see a couple of queens, some very nice force fields here going down, and the Prism is going to be able to stay alive. Very, very limited hit points. Reinforcements being walked in. Swarm hosts now join the fray, and that's going to be a very scary sight here for our young Russian player. He's doing a great job of taking a good fight, don't get me wrong, but now he's starting to run out of energy, and that is where this gets terrifying, because here come the Locusts, and look at that front line. Absolutely melt like hot butter in a pan. I don't know, I can't think of anything. And just like that, Strange is not going to be only pushed back. He's going to be destroyed in this fight. Immortal goes down. There's just nothing left of Strange. He's down 100 supply, Grayton.
Look, when you